on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
INEC's continuous voter registration is still on. Use the opportunity to register to vote. On the news this evening, Governor Fubara opens up on Supreme Court ruling. Senate to intervene in ASU federal government dispute. U.S. Embassy issues security alert ahead of planned #Free Nnamdi Kanu protest in Abuja. On the foreign scene, Palestinian group Hamas urges pressure on Israel to open Gaza 1 week after ceasefire. I'm Sam Chinedu, and the news continues after a break. Back. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has acknowledged that the Supreme Court judgment on the state's political crisis empowered the president to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State. Recall that before the governor was suspended on March 18, he promised to fully implement the judgment. Speaking at the special court session to mark the beginning of a new legal year for the state judiciary, Governor Fubara described the judgment as shocking, but said he accepted the verdict in good faith. The governor also spoke on some of his experiences in court during the political crisis. Governor Fubara promised to rectify any injustices the Nigeria Bar Association faced during the emergency rule. He praised the Rivers State judiciary, describing it as one of the best in the country. In his remarks, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Chibuzo Simeon Amadi, appealed to the governor to establish an advisory council on the prerogative of mercy to decongest the correctional center. Justice Amadi warned that the Port Harcourt Correctional Center may soon stop admitting inmates due to overcrowding. He also called for an increase in the retirement age of judges in Rivers State from 65 to 70 years. Earlier, the governor had also assured residents that the state will bounce back and recover everything lost during the period of emergency rule. The governor said this during a church service held to mark the start of a new legal year for the Rivers State judiciary. He also thanked church leaders for standing by the state and offering prayers during the difficult period.
We're marking a new beginning after the reconciliation and peace in our state, and I strongly believe that whatever we have lost, now that we're together, we will regain those grounds. The progress and development that we have all yearned for, I strongly believe that we will not deviate from it. We will work as a team to make sure that the dream, that River State that we all dream of, we will attain it by the grace of God.
Governor Fubara further appealed to the judiciary to do their job with fairness and make sure innocent people do not suffer.
Just like we heard today, you are the temple of justice. Continue to live up to your responsibility so that innocent people will not suffer unjustly. This is the One River State where everyone can sit together, laugh together, and praise the Almighty together.
A correspondent reports that the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Martin Amehule, and the Deputy Governor, Professor Ngozi Odu, attended the event. Meanwhile, the state government has been reviewing some major contracts awarded during the emergency period. On Thursday, the River State Executive Council cancelled the 134 billion naira contract earlier awarded for the renovation, electrofitting, and furnishing of the State Secretariat complex. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Works, Dr. Austin Ezekiel Hart, confirmed this to Nigeria Info after the council meeting held at Government House in Port Harcourt on Thursday. He said the council also directed the contractors, CCECC, to refund the 20 billion naira earlier paid to them as mobilization. You may recall that on September 10, 8 days towards the end of the state of emergency, the former state sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, approved the rehabilitation and modernization of the River State Secretariat complex. His announcement came shortly after a House of Representatives ad hoc committee described parts of the Secretariat as worse than Gaza and ordered civil servants to evacuate. Reacting to the cancellation, the chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Architects in River State, Toku Fiberesima, said the governor made the right decision. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent Martha Okere, Fiberesima said it was troubling that such a major project was awarded towards the end of the state of emergency, especially after the governor had already announced plans to renovate the secretariat before he was suspended.
The governor is on track because these kind of things are not 2-3 years. People wait that there was the sole administrator that gave out the contract and maybe it is not completed and everybody will begin to hold the governor accountable. So let the governor take his time, revoke the contract, do whatever needs to be done, and then go through the due process properly and give out that, because that secretariat needs to be renovated. No doubt about it. So let him go through the due process and do it properly. That's what governance is all about.
However, Fiberesima added that the contractor has a right to take legal action against the state government if they believe the contract followed due process.
If they know that the contract followed due process, they can go to court. And if they go to court and the processes were followed, the court will tell the governor, no, you cannot. Or even if you're going to, then you're going to lose some part of that money. Because the governor has every right to cancel any contract, whether it followed due process or not. But if it followed due process and it is cancelled, then you pay some money to the contractor for cancelling his. Those things will be stated in the contract.
The chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Architects in River State also noted that the total cost of the renovation and the 20 billion naira mobilization fee earlier paid were both reasonable.
The Procurement Act has variables. You can say you can mobilize with 30%. Sometimes, depending on how urgent the government wants the work to be done, they can mobilize sometimes even up to 50%. Now, but that said, for that kind of money, the Procurement Act will ask for maybe a bank guarantee. And if a bank is involved, even the bank will want to make sure that the processes are followed.
In the meantime, Governor Fubara met with traditional rulers at the banquet hall at Government House on Thursday, where he said several major projects that had stopped are now back on track, including the Port Harcourt Ring Road. The governor assured the monarchs that his administration is fully committed to fixing the challenges facing different communities. In a related development, Eche local government says it is ready to light up more communities. The chairman of the council, Chima Boniface Njoko, will flag off the Ozuzu Clan Rural Electrification Project on Saturday. The flag-off, which will be held at the State School, Ojia Ozuzu, is part of the administration's development initiative tagged Operation Light Up Eche. A statement signed by the Director of Communications, Creative Industry and Strategy, Eche Local Government Area, Robinson Oluo, said the project is aimed at ensuring that every community in Eche feels the true impact of governance through inclusive and people-oriented projects, thereby improving living standards and promoting socio-economic growth across the local government. The statement urged all residents and stakeholders, traditional rulers and community leaders to turn out en masse and be part of the historic event, which will have the Eche APC leader, Ephraim Wuzi, Eche PDP leader, and Eche statesman, Prince Ima Anyanwu, and Senator Allwell Onyeso as special guests of honor. Away from that, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde says the most important defection in Nigeria has not taken place yet. He says it is the defection of hunger and poverty from the country. In his bi-monthly newsletter released on Thursday, Makinde said while the recent defections of some PDP governors to the APC have dominated national discussions, Nigerians should focus on when economic hardship defects out of their lives. He says it's only then prosperity can return. We'll take a break. When we return, the Senate is to intervene in the federal government ASU dispute. Stay with us. Says it will intervene in the industrial dispute between the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, and the federal government. It expressed concern over the government's inability to meet ASU's demands, describing the situation as unacceptable. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund, Senator Aliyu Dandutse, disclosed this after a closed-door session with the leadership of ASU. He further noted that the Senate will immediately initiate a negotiation process involving key stakeholders, including ASU, to chart a path towards a permanent resolution of the crisis. At the meeting, ASU called on the federal government to improve funding for public universities. It warned that sustainable investment in education remained the only path to ending strikes and raising the global ranking of Nigerian universities. And back to Rivers State, the Rivers State Police Command says it has arrested a 46-year-old man named Abi Baragon for beating up his girlfriend in Port Harcourt. The arrest came after a video went viral on social media on June 20, 2025. In the video, a woman was seen crying and accusing a man of attacking her before he ran away. It was said that the man beat her because she refused to marry him. The video caused many people to react angrily online, and the Rivers State Police Command quickly started an investigation. Police spokesperson SP Grace Iringekoko said officers from the Human Rights Department at the state headquarters took up the case after they got the report. During questioning, SP Iringekoko said the suspect confessed that he stabbed the woman with bottles during the fight. To developments outside River State, ahead of the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest, which will take place next Monday in Abuja, the U.S. Embassy in Abuja has issued a security alert to Americans. In a statement published on its website on Friday, the embassy cautioned that the protest could lead to disruptions and potential violence. The embassy advised U.S. citizens to steer clear of the protest areas and limit their movement across the city. In Kaduna State, a violent clash between some illegal miners and suspected bandits in Kuyelo ward in the Birnin-Gwari local government area of the state left at least 7 people dead. Residents say the incident happened on Thursday. A community leader, Umar Maishanu, told newsmen that one of the bandits reportedly came from Zamfara to demand a monetary levy from the illegal miners, and in the process was killed by the miners. He said that this led to a reprisal by the bandits group. Although the police authorities have yet to confirm the incident, it was gathered that a combined team of security operatives have been deployed to the affected mining site and community. And on a brighter note, for sports fans, Nigeria's Super Eagles have jumped 4 places to 41st in the latest FIFA Men's World Rankings, breaking back into Africa's top 5. Released on Friday, the new FIFA rankings mark a major improvement for Nigeria, who have climbed from 45th to 41st. The 3-time African champions also moved ahead of Ivory Coast, now ranked 42nd in the world. Nigeria's rise in the rankings follows a strong run in their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying campaign, which included a 2-1 victory over Lesotho in Polokwane and a convincing 4-0 win over Benin Republic in Uyo. The news continues after the break. Back. On the international scene, Palestinian group Hamas has urged mediators and the international community to pressure Israel to open the Rafah crossing connecting Gaza and Egypt, as stipulated by the ceasefire agreement. The UN says it still faces roadblocks from Israel in delivering aid to hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza, still desperate for the necessities of life 1 week into the ceasefire. Earlier, Hamas expressed deep appreciation for the efforts made by Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey over the past 2 years to reach an agreement to stop Israel's war on Gaza. The group called on the mediating countries, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey, to follow up on the implementation of the remaining provisions of the agreement. And that's the news. Before we leave, let's take another look at the headlines. Governor Fubara has opened up on the Supreme Court ruling about Rivers' political crisis. The Senate says it will intervene in the ASU federal government dispute. The U.S. Embassy has issued a security alert ahead of a planned Free Nnamdi Kanu protest in Abuja. On the foreign scene, Palestinian group Hamas has urged pressure on Israel to open Gaza 1 week after ceasefire. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Sam Chinedu. Thanks for listening.